Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your true heel phenom, SP3. We are live on the Sportskeeda Wrestling Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube channel for WWE Hell in a Cell 2021 preview and predictions. Drop your predictions in the live chat. We got 4 matches on the card, and we're going to be talking about a Hell in a Cell match tonight on Friday Night SmackDown, the first WWE Hell in a Cell match on national TV since 1998. We're going to talk about the matches that should be on this card to fill it out as well. So let's get to it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Like I said, we are live. WWE Hell in a Cell 2021 preview and predictions. This month, we have a very, very special guest with me. This good brother, I joined him on one of our good friends, Stephanie Chase's YouTube channel, and I was like, I had to get him on. I've been trying to get him on for months. He's a busy, busy man doing great work over at Post Wrestling. He is an interview extraordinaire, Andrew Thompson. Thank you, good brother, for joining me.
Man, I appreciate you having me on. We've been looking forward to doing this for quite some time. I'm excited to chat it up with you and break down this card. So let's get into it, man.
Yeah, quote unquote card. We want to, this of course live stream is for you people all watching us, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We want to know your predictions. We want to hear your questions for us about the Hell in a Cell card, about wrestling in general. We're here to talk about it all for an hour or less. We will be here with you. We got a couple of great folks in the live chat already with us, Andrew. We got Jeff Samuel saying, sup SP3, Roman versus Ray, Hell in a Cell for the belt tonight. Yes, we're going to get to that. First up, the good brother, Mr. Distraction himself. He is a GOAT himself, so I appreciate his kind words. He says, I predict this show bangs because it's 2 GOATs. Yes, if Jeremy was with us, Jeremy Lambert of Fightful was with us, it'd be 3 GOATs, and you guys would be all confused because you've never seen 3 Michael Jordans on the screen at once. It would be amazing. And we got Jason Michael with us saying sup SP3. But yes, Andrew, let's talk about the huge news that came out just last night that WWE has decided to have a Hell in a Cell match tonight on SmackDown. It's going to be Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Rey Mysterio inside of Hell in a Cell. We are not going to get this at Hell in a Cell, ? We're going to get it tonight on live TV. So I want to ask you, what was your reaction to this announcement? And then you can get into who you think is going to win, even though I think us and the people watching all know who's going to win this one.
For sure. Like when I initially saw this, I thought maybe it's just a way to attract more viewers in. Because when was the last time they had a Hell in a Cell match on, on live television? I thought that was like maybe they just wanted to attract more people to watch SmackDown. Like maybe they trying to keep people throughout the entire show, so you can you got to see the Hell in a Cell match that's gonna close the show. So that was like my first thought when I saw the announcement. But of course, like you just said, I don't think anybody thinks that Rey Mysterio is about to pull off the miracle. Roman Reigns is definitely keeping the Universal title. But like I think it was just a thing just to get more eyes on the show. Like that's all I think it was. But I think we probably gonna end up getting some type of weird finish where maybe it entices Roman to have a match with Dominic on Sunday or something along those lines, or run it back with Ray on Sunday. But like me and you talked about off air, either way, Dominic is getting whooped. That's how this ends.
I could totally see that happening. I agree with you. This seems like a ratings ploy. Of course, the NBA playoffs has been affecting everything in professional wrestling as of late. And they got 2 huge game 6 with the Sixers versus the Hawks and the Clippers versus the Utah Jazz. So the WWE wants to compete with that. And that's why they're putting on in my eyes, a lot of people's eyes, the biggest match for Sunday's card. They're putting it here on Friday Night SmackDown. If you're watching with us live, we want to thank you for joining us, watching us on YouTube. Drop us a like, share this video on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're watching us on Facebook or Twitter, drop us a like, a heart emoji, an angry emoji, a laughing emoji. However this card makes you feel, however the decision to put Roman versus Rey on SmackDown instead of the Hell in a Cell card, let us know in the live chat, and let us know with your expressions. Tag a friend to watch along with you. I have a great question for you, Andrew. You been following this Roman and Rey story first, and then second, do you think that this warrants a Hell in a Cell stipulation?
No, half the times, like with I would say over the last several years or so, outside of Sasha Banks versus Bayley at last year's, I would say like the majority of the matches don't really warrant Hell in a Cell. Like honestly, I know this isn't the first time somebody said this. I think they should do away with the gimmick pay-per-views for like just at least a couple of years, and like bring back a No Mercy or a Bad Blood, like because it's more simple, and you don't have to rush these Hell in a Cell matches just because the name of the pay-per-view is called Hell in a Cell, and you just throwing anything together just to fit the mold of the pay-per-view.
I miss the days when people like were at the end of their feud and they said, "I'm gonna meet you inside Hell in a Cell." We don't even get the dramatic pause before they say Hell in a Cell. Like Bobby and Drew, they decided it at the freaking contract signing. They was like, you know what? Let's have the match in Hell in a Cell. Like, it was so calm and so like nonchalant because it's the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So they have to have a Hell in a Cell matchup. But I know there is people with different opinions. Let us know if you think Roman and Rey warrants a Hell in a Cell matchup. But do you think that this will live up to the great performance that Roman had last year at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view against Jey Uso? Or do you think that this is going to be a quicker Hell in a Cell match than what we're used to?
I think it's going to be because like, okay, so Roman has been, I would say Roman has been like one of the top on-screen performers since he came back. Like, that's not even a question. Roman he's been doing some great stuff. Like it kind of made, like, I wish that they handled every storyline as well and as they have his. Like Roman hasn't really been in he hasn't not even really just hasn't been in any bad storylines. Like his story has been handled very carefully. Everything has been like very precise. I wish they would do everything like that, but like going back to your point, like I think that this Hell in a Cell match is going to be a lot of monologue, like, comparing families, Roman talking his trash, and, you're going to have Rey doing what Rey does. He's going to fight from underneath. He's going to have that one little moment in the match where you might think for a split second that he might do it, because that's how, I don't know how Rey does it after all these years, but like he's still able to make people believe. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of that. And then, probably towards the end, Roman just going to beat him down until he quits. And then we're probably going to get Dominic involved in some way. Like, I think this probably is going to lead to like, maybe a breakdown of the Mysterios, and not necessarily the dissension between them, but more so like they just gonna be not focused going forward after what Roman does to the both of them, and then that's gonna lead to the Usos taking the tag titles off them. First people we gonna see on that SmackDown with fans in Houston is gonna be Roman and the Usos with the tag title. I mean, Roman and Usos with the titles, and Paul Heyman right by their side.
Yes, the bloodline with all the gold. That would be a beautiful sight. But I totally agree with you. I think that this is going to be a beatdown for Rey, possibly a beatdown for Dominic. This one would feel more at home with the stipulation that we got last year with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns as an I Quit match. I could totally see them mirroring that finish where, Roman put the choke on Jimmy to make Jey quit. You could see it something similar with Dominic and Rey. And that's another reason why this whole putting it on Friday Night SmackDown doesn't make sense, because what's Sunday? Sunday's Father's Day. Like, it made total sense to do Rey versus Roman. Roman's the head of the table. He's been acting like he's the daddy of the Usos the last couple of weeks. Rey is the daddy of Dominic, and it feels like, it's a battle for the custody of Dominic. The custody of Dominic has been in a storyline within WWE since 2005, and Roman is about to take the custody from Rey, in my opinion. I don't know how many people want that custody, but it is what it is. He's got to take the child support, but Roman makes the money. That's why he's the head of the table. We got John and Lee in the live chat here saying, why is this not on the card for Sunday in the first place? That's a very great question.
Gotta bring the viewers in. That's what they trying to do.
They want Friday Night SmackDown to always be the top-rated wrestling program, and it's going against two great NBA playoff games, and the NBA playoffs have been on fire for all you basketball fans, especially the last week, and within the news or what's going on the court, NBA has been on everybody's, coming out of everybody's mouth, so WWE has to compete with that. It just makes sense, and that's the same answer that me and Andrew both gave here. What do you think about Roman versus Rey? We told you guys, yeah, this is not looking good for Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is in for a beating.
Hey, and I was gonna say, SB3, who you think, who would you line up next for Roman, like as far as Money in the Bank go? Because I'm pretty sure, like even though SummerSlam is like the main thing, like I still think for that first pay-per-view back in front of fans, you got to have like a real solid opponent for Roman. Like, would you go? I think they should say Big E for SummerSlam. I think they should go Big E SummerSlam, but I think you need like a real good baby face that a lot of people could believe in for the Money in the Bank show. I was thinking maybe you let Cesaro get his run back. Like I think a lot of people, like especially that reaction that Cesaro got at Mania 37. Like I just wish that there were people there to follow up on that. You know what I'm saying? Like even though he did get the title match at, what was that, WrestleMania Backlash?
Yeah, which was a great match.
Yeah, I feel like it just like it would have been so much better if he had the people there to root for him. But like now, I feel like it would be a perfect opportunity to kind of follow up on WrestleMania, you know, with people in attendance to kind of root for him versus Roman.
I agree with you that they could run it back, and that you know it's gonna lead to my next question, which was like what matches we put on the card instead. But you just mentioned Cesaro. I think it would make a lot of sense if they did Cesaro versus Seth at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, because they've been feuding for a while. It kind of would fit in the feud with how WWE books things. Just throw them in the cell because they've been feuding for a while, and then Cesaro winning here would set him up perfectly to get the shot at Money in the Bank. But I really want Cesaro to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. So I could possibly see it where they do something like don't have Roman on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. It makes more sense for him not to be on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, in my opinion, because the Money in the Bank ladder match is the draw. Yeah. On that pay-per-view, it doesn't really matter if you have a WWE Universal Championship match, but since they're not having him on the Hell in a Cell card, yeah, I think you're right. It probably makes sense to run it back with Cesaro. They had great success at WrestleMania Backlash. You put Cesaro versus Seth inside the cell on Sunday. Cesaro wins, and then he takes that momentum into Money in the Bank and versus Roman Reigns. Do you think it would hurt or help Cesaro to have another match against Roman Reigns so soon, though, after taking the loss at WrestleMania Backlash, though, Andrew?
I think it would help because, like, I think just in professional wrestling as a whole, you can build anybody up just like that with just a couple wins. Like, I really think if they were to strip away like exactly what they're doing with even with somebody like Ricochet right now and just present him in a more serious manner, have him get like 5 wins in a row, people would start believing in Ricochet. It's literally that simple. Like you can even look at AEW. We believe in Orange Cassidy. It's crazy how when he was holding the AEW world title, there was like I can't see him as world champion. Nobody was saying that because we believe in Orange Cassidy because they present him as legit. You know what I'm saying? I think you can in professional wrestling, you can present anybody in that light. You just got to give them the momentum and give them a couple wins, and people will believe. Same thing with Cesaro. People already like Cesaro. People have been saying for years that he should have been a world champion. You had Mick Foley and Stone Cold doing the Broken Skull Sessions thing, pleading for Vince McMahon to get behind Cesaro more. Everybody wants to see Cesaro win. So all you got to do is give him that momentum, and then it's going to carry on. And then as we saw at WrestleMania 37. Like the crowd, they love him, man.
Yeah, he was over, especially when he did the UFO on Seth. And like you said, like he just got the stamp of approval from two of the greatest legends in WWE history, and Mick Foley and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I can definitely see it. And you also made a great point about AEW. Like take the Cesaro and Roman match, like I said, was great. But at no point in that match did I believe Cesaro was going to beat Roman Reigns. On the other hand, a match that I knew the outcome to with Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy versus Pac, several times during that matchup. They hooked me on the near falls with Orange Cassidy nearly winning with the orange punch. So they have to get us into that thinking that Cesaro has enough momentum to win this one. And they left a lot of room with that matchup as well, because if you remember at WrestleMania Backlash, he didn't hit the swing. He didn't hit the UFO. He didn't hit the neutralizer. He didn't hit any of his signature moves on Roman. It was all about the story of him wearing down the arm. So they have a lot of room to go back to that matchup.
I was gonna say, do you think like the point you just made about like not believing that some of the Roman's opponents like even have a chance to beat him? Do you think that's just a case of like them building Roman up so well that the fact that he's like just on another level as far as like his colleagues that you can't even get yourself to believe that he's going to lose the title? I think that's a good and a bad thing. Like the fact that they're building Roman up so well, like you can't even believe that nobody on the active roster can beat him. Like immediately people are already thinking John Cena, thinking The Rock, like that. Those, like when it's at that point to where we can only imagine these like people that have like been solidified and stamped in forever in WWE, like I think they got to do like I think they're gonna need somebody like, you know, just I think they're gonna need a fresh face, bro. Like to even make people believe. Like I know throw out a name like Finn Balor, maybe. Like I think if he came back, that'd be like maybe Balor might do it. But like with people on the active roster right now, I can't really see nobody. I can see them maybe. Like I can see depending on how the crowd reacts, I can see maybe Big E probably, but like just. Right now, I really can't see nobody taking the title off Roman.
And like with Big E months ago, I felt like you, and I was like, yo, I want to see Big E versus Roman at SummerSlam. But I really feel like that stacking Edge and Daniel Bryan, when it felt like, you know, it felt like Edge could win at WrestleMania. Not so much Daniel Bryan, but it felt like Edge could win at WrestleMania, and him stacking those two guys up, I just feel like no one is at the level of Roman Reigns after that. Like literally, they kind of set the bar too high. They finally got Roman to the spot that they've been waiting and trying for him to be at for 5 years. And like I totally agree with you. It's a good thing because they finally made that star, and eventually, you know, he's going to turn babyface and he can be the babyface they always wanted him to be. But it's also a bad thing because they haven't done the work with anybody else on the roster. Like Drew McIntyre months ago felt like he was just below Roman Reigns. Now it's a huge gap between them. Lashley was on fire as WWE champion and during his initial run, but he doesn't even feel like he's on Roman Reigns level. It's kind of like they have really widened the gap between Roman Reigns and everybody else right now.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show you how they view Roman Reigns like above most time, like that. I mean, but that's their guy. You know what I'm saying? Like we've known for years. Like it's not anything surprising. Like we've known for like the past 4 or 5 years that's their number one. So they're gonna present him in such a way. I just wish like if you can put that much effort into building somebody up, why can't you do that for your women's championship? Why can't you do that for your mid-card championship? Like it's not like obviously it's not difficult if you can make Roman Reigns feel as legit as he is. And the one thing I'm really interested in is see how the crowd reacts to him on a week-to-week basis, because I feel like a lot of people like what Roman's doing, but I feel like the crowd might play along and just boo him, but they really enjoy the work that it's going to be interesting to see how they react to him like when they go city to city.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it at WrestleMania. I know like Daniel Bryan went public and he said that he thought the fans were going to cheer for Roman Reigns because it's been such a, you know, positive feedback to his character on social media. But we saw at WrestleMania, he got booed. It was finally he got the desired reaction that he was looking for. So it's going to be, I agree with you, week to week, it's going to be very interesting with the way they book Roman Reigns, if he's going to continue being a heel or if they're going to, you know, rush the process and make him a babyface probably quicker than they probably expect to do right now. We're
gonna get back to those Roman King Corbin matches, man. Can't wait. Can't wait.
The dog food on a pole match. Absolutely, people. You've been wanting it. We got Dro Davida saying True Hill Heat, you know why they trash talked on Twitter. Yes, they Ray and Roman were trash talking each other, and Ray said he couldn't wait to Sunday. So he had to get the matchup right here and then. And hey, NBA playoffs does some weird things to WWE. We got Eli saying, "Sup SB3, it's very weird we get Roman versus Ray tonight, but I got people talking. Are there going to be some return on Sunday, or do we get Ray and Dom versus Usos belt in a Hell in a Cell match?" So yeah, that brings me to my next question for you, Andrew. What matches do you think that they're going to fill out this card? Because I don't think they're going to do a 4-match card for Hell in a Cell before we get into the matchups that are advertised for Hell in a Cell. What matches do you think they have set up for them to add to the card either tonight or over the weekend before Hell in a Cell?
Probably Rollins versus Cesaro. I think that's like probably the most obvious one. We probably could get Tamina and Natalya versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose after they had the brawl on Monday inside the ring. Probably Elias versus that other guy, the one unnamed Riker. Can't not a fan of that guy at all. Not a fan,
Me either.
But I'm not even gonna give him the time of day. So I'm gonna say Elias versus that other guy. That's what I'm gonna say. And they need to let Elias win. Like stop. Don't hinder Elias for that guy. I cannot believe. Let's just get into this. I cannot believe they are trying to present this dude as a baby face. Like it's clear as day what they're trying to like. Do they think that we just forgot about what he did last year? Like, am I supposed to just like, oh, I don't remember that? Like, I will never be a fan or never be and never enjoy this dude's work. I just can't get myself to. Like, I think that's the thing especially about professional wrestling these days. Like, especially when you learn about who some of these individuals are outside of the ring, it's very difficult at times to enjoy what they do on screen, at least for me, because like it just makes me think about what they view. You know what I'm saying? Just about the world in general and about Black people as well. Like it's very difficult for me to really put that character aside and like view you just for I just can't enjoy anything that Jackson Riker's doing, especially the comments that he made last year following George Floyd's passing. Like I don't enjoy it. I don't even want to see him on the screen. Like I just want to see a live, like build a live. So if that's what you're going to do that.
It doesn't even make sense because Elias did well as a baby face, so he should be the baby face. Who we would love to cheer Elias for his singing and stuff. It's like Jackson Riker. There's nothing about his character. There's nothing that they've done to make him a baby face, and I think that it's a whole indictment on WWE's hiring and firing process that he is the remaining forgotten son. Like he let down his boys. He let down Wesley Blake, who's a good worker. He let down Steve Cutler, the now Steve Macklin, who made a really good debut on Impact Wrestling last night. I watched that this morning. And those guys are gone. Those guys got let go, and he is the remaining forgotten son. They should just rename him to the Forgotten Son so we can all forget him, because I don't want to see him on my TV either. He's just the guy with the tweets, and I'm gonna be cheering Elias every single time they wrestle each other. I agree with you. It's ridiculous.
100%. Well, so we probably get maybe a Raw tag title match. AJ and Omos versus, like, I remember you mentioned this off air, AJ and Omos versus the Viking Raiders, and we had kind of talked about it a little bit before we got on. At the Athletic did a crazy good piece on Omos and his life, and like I wish WWE would use some of that information on TV because it makes people more relatable. Like Omos is 7'2", bro. I don't know what it's like to be 7'2". Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know what that's like. So, but like Omos is like, he has like a crazy good story. Like he came to I think they said when he first came to America or something, he had like $1,000 or something like that. Or like, and he went to the store and bought like some fancy like piece of technology because he was like, I always wanted something nice. And he went and spent like $600 of the 1,000 he had, and he played basketball at the University of South Florida, and it was a medical examiner that came to one of the games, and he went to shake Omos's hand, and he noticed like he had like some, I guess some on Omos's face kind of made the medical examiner weary or something like that. So he went he asked Omos, could he do a checkup on him? Omos was like, yeah, for sure. They found out he had like a tumor in one of his glands, and like Omos wasn't aware. He didn't know. So like and like if so they went and had he went and had brain surgery and then had another brain surgery. So he had 2 brain surgeries to remove the gland because it was inching closer to a nerve that would have made him blind in like 2 months. You know, like, and
I did not know that.
Yeah, and he didn't know. So like if that like just the happenstance, the happen chance that doctor was at that game and was just like he felt something was off because he was I guess he was wondering why Omos was so I guess tall or something like that. He was just curious or something like that, and like just the pure luck and just the chances that doctor was like, hey, let me come check you out, and then they ended up finding out he had a tumor, and he would have went blind in a couple of months had that not been found. So he just had like a really great story. Like he got recruited by like the Raptors president, Masai Ujiri. He was like 13. You know what I'm saying? Like he got recruited by him and went to like a basketball camp and almost was playing with like 17, 16 because he was tall. So like he lived a life, bro. So like I think that was a real good piece that the Athletic did on him, and I hope that when the next time he's on TV, they use some little tidbits and pieces of that because it can really make people relate to Omos and really enjoy him if they use some of those elements on TV.
Yeah, maybe they're waiting, to officially turn him babyface before they start talking about those things. But yeah, like you said, like I can't relate with a guy his height at all. I'm like 5'6" or 5'7". That's why I felt old today when I found out that Kemba Walker is 31 years old because I played high school basketball when he was a freshman at Rice High School right here in New York. So I felt very old when I found that out. But yeah, I can't relate to a guy that's 7 feet tall, but hearing stuff like that makes him very relatable, makes you connect with him. So I hope that in the future, when he does become like an official babyface, because it felt like when they were feuding, especially with Jackson Riker and Elias, it felt like they were going towards the babyface route, and then they veered back to this heel characters. But hopefully when he makes that official turn, they bring that stuff up because, yeah, now I'm very interested in Omos right now. So I definitely agree with you. Go out of your way to read that article for The Athletic that Andrew just brought up here. We got a couple more comments here in the live chat. My good brother Romeo from the True Hill Heat YouTube channel says, I definitely wasn't tuning in with NBA on, but I will tune in for the match, talking about Roman versus Ray tonight on SmackDown. And then we got an interesting question here from Eli. He says, is WWE going to shock us with a Kofi heel turn Sunday? Have you been liking the whole Kofi and MVP story going on Monday Night Raw, Andrew?
I really do. Like, why does MVP have to be the savior of every storyline? Like, and I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, like, he comes along. Like, MVP came back. What was that? January 2020. Yeah, he has changed so many people's like direction, like Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, Ricochet, had Ali for a little bit, Apollo Crews, Bobby Lashley. Now he's getting in there with Kofi. Like, and it, like I feel like this him adding that little edge to Kofi and like making people curious as to how Kofi is because he's saying the truth. So like I think that it makes it more interesting because it gives you that idea, like he just said, like could Kofi go to the other side? I don't think they're going. I don't think they're ever going to break up New Day. Like I don't think they would ever do that. I think I could see Kofi kind of separating himself a little bit just because just for to add more layers into the story. But I don't think we get a Kofi like full heel turn. I think more than anything we'll see him like continue like go after Bobby Lashley, and then maybe we get Lashley versus Kofi at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going with this. And it would be interesting if they added a stipulation like if Kofi loses, he has to join the Hurt Business. Something like that. Like he's forced. Like it's more like what they tried to do with like John Cena versus the Nexus when he lost and had to join the Nexus. You could see something like that where, Kofi doesn't make an official heel turn, but he has to join the Hurt Business. And then maybe after a while, he just says, I'm more successful now. Maybe just, go along with MVP. And I like the layers to this story, because we know there's a sense of reality to it, with the fact that we all seen the social media video with Chad and MVP crying when Kofi Kingston won the title at WrestleMania 35. I was at the bar with Chad during that WrestleMania, so I know it was a very emotional, great moment for a lot of African American wrestlers, seeing their reaction to that. There we got Majir, I think I said that right. Excuse me if I didn't. Says, sup SB3, you hear WWE is bringing back Aleister Black, because what going to happen to Big E now? Yes, that's an interesting question, an interesting topic to bring up. We just saw the return of Samoa Joe. We've been hearing a lot with WWE, with especially Triple H regretting what they released Samoa Joe, and now we're hearing the same with Aleister Black, especially with interest from AEW for Aleister Black. Would you like to see Tommy Yen, aka Aleister Black, back in WWE, Andrew?
Honestly, bro, I would. Like, I feel like there's so much there with that character that he has. Like, and I wouldn't mind him seeing going anywhere else. Honestly, like I think he's gonna do like great wherever he goes. But I just feel like it was so much more for him left to do. Like, as far as like Raw and SmackDown goes, like. I just don't know how they didn't like fully capitalize on the uniqueness of a character like that, because he really is different from everybody else on the roster. So I didn't know how they just didn't really follow up on that and at least give him a U.S. title run or an Intercontinental title run. So just to add on to the sort of mystique per se of the Aleister Black character. I think there was a lot of stuff left on the table right there. But like, especially considering like he like literally attacked Big E. And then, that was it. Like, I
never got a follow up.
Spent so much time into these vignettes, and then, just for him to get released, it never really made sense. But I think if they do bring him back, like, I think they need to do away with that Big E thing is done. Like, I do feel like Big E needs to. I feel like Big E should be Roman's opponent at SummerSlam. I feel like people would get behind Big E, especially. I can only imagine like if they really do a good job. They already do a good job of building Roman storylines, so I can only imagine how well they'll treat Big E on the way to to him versus Roman. But as far as Aleister Black goes, like I think they need to come out. If they do bring him back, they need to come out the gate like he needs to be a champion, like to establish him right off the gate. Like, and I've really enjoyed Apollo Crews' run, but if they are going to bring back Aleister Black, like don't halfway step in with it. Like go all the way and establish right off the bat that he's back.
I totally agree with you. He's not the type that I want to see back in NXT. I feel like he completed his arc. Like with Samoa Joe, they gave him a new role. He has a completely different role than what he had previously in NXT. So there's a lot of room for the story to be told there. With Aleister Black, we're not going to see him in like this authority figure type role. He's going to be a wrestler again. And we just saw the returning NXT champion story be told with Finn Balor. And it's too soon to have another former champion come who kind of already completed his arc in NXT. If he's going to come back, put him on SmackDown, have him feud with Big E, and go with this Dark Father character that you built up for weeks and weeks with these well-produced vignettes, or turn him babyface and have him, like, I feel like him coming back with the fans back at live shows against like a Roman Reigns, he would be a hot babyface that fans will get behind because he got let go and he's coming back. I think the fans would rally behind him in that way. So keep putting those questions and your predictions in the live chat. We spent almost 30 minutes with just your comments as well as talking about Roman versus Rey and the decision to not have it on the Hell in a Cell card and instead have it on SmackDown tonight. Let us know what you think about that in the live chat. But we do have to preview and predict the matches that are on the card, and we're going to start off with a couple of women's matches. First, from the SmackDown side, you're going to see Bianca Belair defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Bayley. This is a rematch from last month's WrestleMania Backlash, where Bianca got the win in a very good matchup, using her hair to roll up Bayley. Ever since then, Bayley has been laughing at Bianca. This has been not the best build-up, in my opinion. I think they could have done a little bit more to kind of reheat this. And I don't know if anybody realizes this, but it's been since I believe, February that Bayley has gotten a singles victory on TV. So she is getting 2 title shots without one singles victory in nearly 3 months. But this is still going to be a very good matchup once again. So who do you think wins this one, Andrew? Bayley versus Bianca Belair? And what have you been thinking about the whole build up to this rematch?
So first of all, I think Bianca's going to retain the title, but like I feel like WWE, they have always had an issue with booking the baby face post a big win. Like they can do a really great job at like with building the baby face on the way to the big win, as we've seen with Kofi, as we've seen with Bianca, and they got it right with Bianca. Like even though she was off TV for like, remember when she first came up after WrestleMania 36, and she was just like a ghost, and they had her on main event. I felt like ever since they kind of transitioned into the Thunderdome, the Thunderdome era that they've been doing, I feel like they've kind of got it right with Bianca all the way. But like they've had this, they had the same issue with Kofi booking the baby face post the big win. Like they came out right out the gate. I think they had that like lukewarm thing with Kevin Owens, and then they had him feuding with Dolph Ziggler for 2 months, and then he was feuding with Randy Orton for 2 months, and then he was feuding with Samoa Joe for 2 months, and like it was just like those were decent matches, but it was just like they dragged them, and the build was not good. And I feel like with this one, they kind of hitting that wall sort of with Bianca. Like to me, I've always said this, and I've always thought Bianca Belair as a heel at heart. Like I just always viewed her as a heel. Like
I agree.
She comes off the screen confident as all hell. She's more athletic than half the women on the roster. More athletic than half the dudes on the roster. You know what I'm saying? Like she's strong as hell. Like you've seen that she's done some of the combat stuff that they did at the PC. Smokes everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like she can talk. She has a presence about her. She has the look. You know, she's like very, very marketable. You know what I'm saying? And of course, she can go in the ring. Like I just always view Bianca as like a heel, just like cocky, just all in your face, constantly telling you how better she is than you. That's how I've always viewed her. But I think this is just like just a way to get her a real solid win over a talent like Bayley, who kind of led the way from March 2020 through, to her title loss to Sasha at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view last year. But like I like going forward, I'm going to be very interested to see how the crowd is going to react to Bianca. Like now that they kind of along with the reign, like the reign is going on. Like I'm very interested to see how they do that, because the crowd, like they I remember when and I'm going back to the Kofi title reign, because it's like the last like baby face run I can remember, like as far as like a world champion is in the women's division or the men's division. Like the crowd kind of turned on Kofi a little bit, like around they turned on him, like, and I don't know why when they asked for it, like they turned, but like it was just more so of a thing, like the booking wasn't good, so they wanted something different. And that, like, of course, I wanted Kofi to have a real good. I wanted him to be booked seriously, but it wasn't like that. And I kind of want the same thing for Bianca, but that's why I just feel like it's more meat on the bone of her as a heel. Like, cause when you a baby face, like it's like I just WWE, they just don't know how to follow through with it.
No, they don't know how to script baby faces. I think that's the biggest issue for Bianca right now, is the fact that they don't really know how to script baby faces. And we heard her, natural promos after winning the Royal Rumble when she was so emotional, and she cut a great promo after, that victory. And she cut a great promo on the post show to WrestleMania after that win against Sasha Banks. And I felt like, the match against Sasha Banks was one of the best matches of the year for WWE.
For sure.
One of the best WrestleMania main events, having 2 African-American women in the main event of WrestleMania, it meant a lot. We love to see stuff like that. And I feel like I agree with you, they really haven't capitalized on how over she was after that victory. And I think that comes down to that Bayley, they haven't really cared about her since she lost the SmackDown Women's Championship. Like they've not giving her a direction for a long time. They left her off of the WrestleMania card. She was just in the, doing segments with Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan and getting beat up by the Bella Twins. And then she gets thrown into this feud without no victories in the last 3 months. Like, you have women on the SmackDown roster like Carmella, like Liv Morgan, that you can get victories over to put Bayley more over, to make her more established, to have her have some momentum against Bianca Belair, but we're just not seeing that, and that's the main problem. And that's why I totally agree with you. Bianca Belair is going to win this one, and it doesn't seem like it's any chance for Bayley to win here. And it's kind of sad that this is one of the biggest challenges that they can give Bianca Belair on the SmackDown roster, but they haven't done the work to really make this feel like a hot matchup.
Yeah, and they need more depth in that SmackDown women's division. They need, like, I don't get, like, especially with the recent releases, subtracting talent like that you kind of need. Because you can't, like, okay, they got Carmella, they got Liv, Sasha's there, Bayley's there. You count Natalya and Tamina because they're the tag champions as far as SmackDown goes. Who else is there? Like, is Mia Yim on SmackDown? Is she on SmackDown?
Guess she is, but we haven't seen her. Yet. She hasn't debuted officially on the SmackDown roster, but I think if you read the roster list, she is a part of it. But I'm still waiting for that re-debut. Who do you think, if we're both predicting Bianca Belair to win here, who do you think is the next challenger for her, like Money in the Bank or SummerSlam?
Bro, it's like there are no. I mean, I think we all are looking at Sasha, Bianca too at SummerSlam. I think that's that's the way to go. Especially if you're trying to. I mean, I feel like people are kind of just eager to go to the show, as it is, just because I think it's like, but with post WrestleMania, it's their first like show like big, stadium type. You know what I'm saying? So of course I think people are eager to go, but like I think Sasha and Bianca to try to follow up on what they did at WrestleMania. I think that's the way to go at SummerSlam. But for Money in the Bank, I don't really see nobody that's like that interested. Like, I mean, you could do Carmella, but it's like, dude, I don't really want to see that. Like, maybe you bring somebody up from NXT, maybe, possibly.
But it seems like they don't want to call up anybody from NXT.
Yeah, because
Io Shirai come back and just going into a tag team feud, and that seems like a step down.
It seems like NXT, like not even seems NXT is their own like thing now. They've been their own thing, but like I just feels like since they moved to Tuesdays, NXT has been much better than when they were. It was like when they was going head to head with AEW. It was like I was just not interested in most of the stuff. But like it seems like ever since they moved to Tuesday, like it's like they've been saving most of this stuff for like when they moved, and like now it's like more interesting. But I can't like. Every talent in the women's division in NXT is kind of being utilized right now. Like I thought Io Shirai might be next, but it might be too soon to like, even if they did do that, like throwing Io in there with Bianca like at a Money in the Bank, like I think that's cool, but like maybe you would have to build her up just a little bit more before we get to that. But like when you look at talents currently in the women's division on SmackDown, it's like, like I think that's why I think the best bet is to turn Bianca heel after this with Bayley. And Liv Morgan has a lot of fan support, obviously. Yes. Her Liv versus Bianca, a babyface Liv versus heel Bianca at Money in the Bank. A lot of people like Liv Morgan, so I think that would be like some decent for a title match at Money in the Bank.
I would love to see it. I'm a big fan of Liv Morgan, especially after her WWE Network special, her documentary, which I thought was one of the best things that WWE has ever done, because it was a real picture into how WWE have a lot of card subject to change, storyline subject to change, and how she's been thrown around so much in her career. And I know, our good friend Steph Chase did an interview with Liv Morgan the same day that Ruby Riott got released. And, an hour before she got released, she's talking about all of the plans that she has for the Riott Squad. And then they give her another curveball in the career that has been just a total curveball, it seems. Well, we got a couple of comments here in the live chat. Romeo saying, give me one of the Usos winning Money in the Bank for the story. That would be very interesting. I like that one. We got Jason Michaels showing some love to you, Andrew, saying, I like that idea, but SP3 got a good one. Cesaro win the bank, cool, but someone else can win it. The Demon Finn Balor to take back that title. He didn't lose. Yeah, that's a good point. Like Andrew said, Finn Balor coming in and getting a shot at Roman Reigns. He beat Roman Reigns before he won the Universal Championship.
I remember. Oh,
so
yeah.
there's story there.
I forgot all about that. Like he beat. Was that his first night on Raw?
Yeah, his first night on Raw. I think he beat Owens, Cesaro, and I want to say Jericho in a 4-way, and then he beat Roman 1-on-1. Yeah,
bro, that is how you establish a talent right away, bro. That's like the perfect example we were talking about earlier. You can make the crowd believe in anybody. And I'm not saying I don't mean that in a way like Finn Balor isn't legit. Like we all knew Balor was legit even when he was coming out of NXT. But I mean, if you want to establish somebody right away, that's how you do it. He beat 4 of their best in one night, and he beat arguably their face of the company in a singles match, and then went on to win the Universal title, the first Universal champion. Like that was just a perfect way to bring up somebody from NXT. Like that was chef's kiss right there. Like I don't get why they don't do that right off the gate. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna eventually talk about that with Miss Rhea Ripley, because she kind of been a little iffy. I ain't been too big on the Rhea Ripley character, since she came up.
We're gonna definitely get to that next up. We got Chris Washington here in the live chat saying sup SP3, and guys, we also got Rachel Cornell here saying hope you're well to John, not to us. Come on, Rachel. We got Elsa in the live chat saying, hey everyone, SP3 in the house, 8 powered for TV. We also got Venish saying Bobby will retain the title again, talking about the match we will get to shortly. And we got Russell Scopes in the live chat here saying if Roman and Ray is off Hell in a Cell Sunday, something big has to happen on Sunday night with the Bobby and Drew match, which I'm sure they're going to do something big. We're going to get to that matchup. But next up, Andrew, we're going to talk about the matchup you just alluded to for the Raw Women's Championship. Is going to be Rhea Ripley defending against her arch nemesis, Charlotte Flair. This is a rematch from WrestleMania 36 where Charlotte defeated Rhea for the NXT Women's Championship. Both ladies were also in a triple threat match last month at WrestleMania Backlash where Rhea Ripley got the victory in a very good opener to that show. Charlotte got a victory over Asuka to set up this match, but both ladies have been on the losing end to Nikki Cross in 2-minute challenges. Then Charlotte lost to Nikki by countout this past week on Monday Night Raw. So it's been a very up and down buildup, I will say, to this feud here. What have been your thoughts on the feud and the buildup with Rhea and Charlotte going into this show? And who do you have Rhea winning this one, Rhea or Charlotte Flair?
So the build, I haven't really been that interested in it. I do like that they're including Nikki Cross. Like I like that at least. I think that, and I read an interview. Charlotte had done an interview with the New York Post, and she was like, she liked that Nikki Cross is like added to the story because it like just adds another layer post the Hell in a Cell title match. And I think that's eventually where they're going to go. Like I think Nikki Cross is going to end up challenging whoever wins the title match on Sunday. And I think that's, she has a right to now because she beat both of them multiple times. So I think that's I think that's a good way to set up like a main event of Raw, one of these one of those weeks following Hell in a Cell. But like, bro, I just haven't been feeling the Rhea Ripley character, since she came up. Like it's not clicking. I don't know why it's so I even kind of felt like that when she was like in the latter stages of her run in NXT. Like it just felt like she did everything, bro. Like she peaked, and it's nothing wrong with that. Like I just feel like they booked her well, and she went all the way to the top, and she peaked, and that was it. And it just like the way she came up, like she just randomly came up as like, hey, I'm a challenger at WrestleMania. Like obviously, I think the plan was for Lacey Evans to win the title from Asuka at what was that, Elimination Chamber. And then Macy was going to defend against Charlotte at WrestleMania, and Charlotte was going to take the title off her. I think that was the original plan, but that didn't happen. And now it's like at a point where like it's just I feel like they just don't know what Rhea Ripley is. Like they don't get it. Like, and I don't get it. I don't even get it right now. It's just like she's just there and she has the belt, and that's it. Like she's just there. She has the belt. And the thing is, like Rhea Ripley, she's like, I think me and Rhea Ripley are like the same age, bro. Like she has so much more like potential to unlock. Like it's just like it just hasn't been clicking. So I think like the best bet, to be honest with you, like I know Charlotte isn't a lot of people cup of tea. She's really good. Like I think we need to dismiss this whole idea. Like trust me, I get it. Like she is like far ahead, like as far as like positioning and TV time and like as far as usage. Like they clearly position her above some of the other notable female talents in the division. But like as far as this goes, I think they need to take the title off Rhea, put it on Charlotte. Like, cause if you going back in front of fans, like I feel like people like Rhea Ripley, but I don't even know how they're gonna react to her. Like, is she even gonna get a reaction? Like, I feel like people don't even know. They don't know if they want to boo her, they want to cheer her. Like, I feel like with Charlotte, you know what you're getting. They're gonna boo her, and there's so many more options there with Charlotte. Like, you got Nikki Cross, of course. I think the Money in the Bank match for Charlotte or the SummerSlam match for Charlotte, without question, should be Naomi. Just judging based off of how people reacted to the Eva Marie thing, like. And not even that, like even going back to the Rumble, what was that? Was that 2020 or 2021 when she was that? Was 2020, the Royal Rumble 2020.
Yeah, when she returned.
Dude, and she got like mainstream media coverage, like from Keke Palmer talking about she wanted to play her in a movie and like all this mainstream media attention, and they didn't capitalize off it. And a lot of people were upset that WWE didn't follow up on Naomi because it kind of feels like I feel like WWE, they kind of view Naomi kind of in the same bracket that they do with Mickie James, as far as like she was a part of that old guard of women's wrestling, and now she's a part of this new guard, but they're more focused on the fresher faces per se. Like, but Naomi, like, dude, what is Naomi? What is she like in her early 30s? You know what I'm saying? Like she's in her prime. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, where they get, like, and that's just my guess. I don't really know that, but, like, I'm just, speculating on what I think, maybe how they view Naomi, just based off. I feel like they just view her as, like, that vet. She's that veteran, on the roster. She's been here this whole time. So, like, I feel like Naomi, a babyface Naomi with actual build behind her versus a heel Charlotte, who people already don't like, I feel like that's perfect.
I do agree with you. They need to do more with Naomi, whether that's, an opportunity at the Raw Women's Championship. I even kind of liked her tag team with Lana, and then they let Lana go. So she kind of seems like she is, like you said, that Mickie James or like Natalya type of role where, they have a ceiling for her, and her ceiling is the most she will do is win like the women's tag team titles and not go for the singles goal. But she has definitely shown that she has that appeal. She has the charisma to do it, but they just never seem to kind of latch on. Like even what was it last summer, summer of 2020, the Give Naomi a Chance hashtag on Twitter. People were behind her then, and then they did nothing with her. So they can do more, in my opinion. I'm always thinking about money. I always put my Vince hat on when I try to book things in fantasy book. And I think that, yes, I agree with you. Charlotte Flair wins here, and you do maybe a rematch at Money in the Bank, or you could save it for SummerSlam. But I think at SummerSlam, we're going to see a lot of big stars returning. And one of the big stars is going to be the man, Becky Lynch.
You think so?
It's been a while, but it's a matchup that they always go to, and it always delivers. So I think they're going to do Charlotte versus Becky for the Raw Women's Championship, the title that Becky never lost against her arch nemesis, the person she turned heel on 3 years earlier at SummerSlam in 2018. Run it back with Charlotte and Becky in front of fans. I think that it would get over.
But
Did we lose Andrew? Or I think he's frozen in time.
You went like something.
There we go.
I'm back.
You're back. Yeah,
Cool. I don't know what just happened. Like I saw it and I was like, what's going on? But you can see me now, right?
Yeah, I see you.
All right, cool, we good. But like I was thinking about like the Raw Women's division just now as you was talking, and I was like, what Oscar? Like it's like I like you so you can't call Oscar's run in WWE as far as Raw SmackDown a failure. You can't. She's won Money in the Bank, won Royal Rumble, multi-time SmackDown Women's Champion, multi-time Tag Team Champion, multi-time Raw Women's Champion. It's impossible to call that a failure.
No.
But the booking of Oscar is like it's so like up and down. It's like Oscar is always option C. Like it's like okay, something wrong, somebody injured, glass break, Oscar. You know what I'm saying? So somebody we need somebody to fill in this role, glass break, Oscar. You know what I'm saying? And like they always like the Oscar's never the focal point of the story. Even going back to when she won the Raw Women's title at the TLC 2018. Like she wasn't the focus of that match. It was Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. That was the focus. Like
if it wasn't for the whole Becky getting punched in the face and having to pick a replacement at Survivor Series against Ronda, I don't think that they never would have put the title on Asuka's, because you remember she went around to all the women on the SmackDown roster. She eventually gave it to Charlotte, but the person that got the biggest reaction was Asuka, and that's when Vince was like, "Oh shoot, Asuka's over. Let me put the title on her." Like he didn't even know. The fans love Asuka. Like, we love Asuka for years, but I totally agree with you. They just never seem to make her the focal point of the women's division.
Like did you remember when it was that clip that came around from what's that show on E? Total Divas. They put it was a clip out on social media when they had cut Asuka and Sonya Deville's match from WrestleMania 35. Yeah, they cut their match, and like I wanted to see that. Like, cause I remember they had like little interactions on SmackDown. And it was like their exchanges were like really good. It was, but we never got the full Asuka Sonya thing, and like just to see like to see like somebody hearing that their matches got cut from the biggest show of the year. It was like, damn, like they did it like that. But yeah, but like it's going back to Charlotte. Like I just think that they need to just put the title on her, and they need to build up like a good baby face to face her. And I legitimately think that's Naomi. I think that's Naomi, but like you got the Nikki Cross thing waiting on the back burner. You got to go through that. And of course, Charlotte's gonna beat her if they do go that route. But I just feel like we're looking at SummerSlam right now. I'm looking at Charlotte, Naomi. Like for Becky, I can see her coming back, but like honestly, bro, if I was like behind this, I would hold off on Becky, because it just don't
think so.
It don't feel like the time right now. It feels like if they would just do that just to bring her back just for shock value and like, hey, Becky Lynch is here. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they should wait a little bit to like the time is like right. It like to me it just doesn't feel right to bring her back right now. But either way you shake it, like she's like one of the biggest stars in the company. So I don't think anybody's gonna like be booing her if she came back. I think people are gonna go crazy for Becky Lynch, but I would kind of hold off on it a little bit, especially since you got like people like I just mentioned, Nikki Cross and Naomi to kind of lead you through the summer.
It's true. They have a lot of good options. They just need to capitalize on them and utilize them better. We got a question here for you, Andrew. We got Chris Washington saying, if Bianca turned heel, Andrew, will you change her theme something more menace? Give her Henry old theme, somebody gonna get their butt kicked. Do you think that Bianca needs to like change her theme if she does turn heel, like you suggested earlier, Andrew? Did we lose Andrew again? I think he's frozen in time. We'll wait to get him back here. We got Russell Scope saying Seth versus Roman will happen in the fall. We also got John Elite predicting Rhea Ripley retains her title. We got Mike McIntyre saying my girl Bayley will be 3-time SmackDown Women's Champion. So we got some conflicting predictions here. Continue putting in your predictions here in the live chat. Did we get Andrew back? I heard the deep breath. I heard the deep breath. There we go.
Man, I don't know. Listen, StreamYard hates me, bro. They StreamYard hates me.
No. Totally understand. My boy Romeo is in the live chat. He's been dealing with it as well on StreamYard over on True Hill Heat YouTube channel. I've been dealing with it, so trust me, I know all about
Okay,
it.
cool. Let's see. I thought I was like, I'm over here ruining the Sportskeeda post show, man. But I see. I'm glad that I'm not the only one dealing with stream, y'all. Like I was talking to Phil Lindsay, and I know he's had issues with stream. Stream y'all don't like me. That's what I think. I think I got beef with somebody that work at stream y'all. It's okay though. It's okay.
They're trying to keep us down. You
see what they doing. But like I don't think Bianca would need to change her theme song if she went heel. Bro, I'm telling you, Bianca is a heel. I'm telling y'all, she is a heel. Like I'm in for the baby face. Like, oh, I'm so happy. I'm the champion. Rah stuff. But if you let Bianca go out there and just tell her opponent what she already is doing, how good she is, how talented she is, how much better than them, how much better that she is than them, like the workings is already there for for a heel run for Bianca.
I totally agree with you. I just go back to the Rhea and Charlotte promo battle back in 2020 when she hit Charlotte with the "you don't even go here." like that was just great. That was just great timing. That just shows you she has a lot of potential as a heel. We got Chris Washington saying Andrew is right, but Andrew, my favorite song, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my God, it's Becky. She back. Yeah, I mean, Becky coming back. I think it's in the cards for SummerSlam. They want to bring big returns back, or maybe we're hearing that the reason they took Roman and Ray off of Sunday is that they're saving up for a big return on Sunday. So maybe it happens even sooner. You never know. WrestleScope saying, I don't care who wins Rhea versus Charlotte. I don't want either to be the champion. They booked Rhea like crap. I totally agree with WrestleScopes as well as you, Andrew. Like, my main gripe with the Rhea Charlotte storyline and feud is I don't know who's the babyface. I don't know who's supposed to be the babyface because they both come off very unlikable in my opinion. And Romeo with a good storyline suggestion saying I want Naomi on SmackDown in the Tribal Chief storyline. He said this before on True Hill. He wants Roman to use Naomi to get Jimmy on his side. What do you think about that, Andrew?
Man, I want Naomi in the Hurt Business. I've always wanted Naomi in the Hurt Business, and I felt like the perfect time to do that. I think she had just lost. She was coming off a big losing streak with Lana. They had just lost on Raw, and then the Hurt Business came out, and it was MVP Shelton, Bobby, and MVP Shelton, Bobby, and Cedric.
Yeah,
and like the thing that I wanted to happen because I remember Naomi was in the ring when they came out. I just wanted like a small just hint. Like I wanted like MVP to like hold the rope open after a loss so she can leave the ring. And they kind of help her down the steps or something like that, or help her jump down. Just a little thing to like make people believe that Naomi could join. They literally have a star in their hands with Naomi. Like I just don't get how you don't capitalize on people's popularity like that. Like But Becky, they didn't miss it. Like when Becky got her nose busted and she did the whole thing when she was knocked out, standing on top of the thing, like she wasn't even aware of what she was doing. They capitalized on it. It's like for certain talents, they just don't go all the way through. And I just never understood how when somebody's over like that, you don't follow through with it. Like I'm pretty sure you've said it a billion times. I've said it a bunch of times as well with the Zack Ryder stuff all the way a decade ago. Yeah. One of the got himself over organically and they just didn't want it. They didn't want him, so it's that the culture there, it's so weird. And you don't even have to really be in the company to kind of just hear the stories that people have told. It seems like the culture that either was or is established there. It's like real, weird.
It is for sure. And even Jeremy joining us in the live chat saying they see nothing in Naomi because she got over without them pushing her. Yeah, if they don't tell you to get pushed and you get pushed by the fans or you get over with the fans, they seem like they don't like it and they're just very upset by it. It's very, very weird. Continue putting your thoughts in the live chat, your predictions on the Hell in a Cell card. We got a third women's match on this card to get to, and probably the one that you guys least want to hear about it. It is going to be Alexa Bliss going one-on-one with Shayna Baszler.
I forgot all about that.
This one reminds me to go over to check out the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. My good brother Romeo, who's in the live chat with you, had a great rendition. He remixed Andrew Man in the Mirror, and he called it Doll in the Mirror. And he talked about the segment with Alexa Bliss's doll, Lily, scaring Shayna Baszler to death and making her scream 2 weeks ago. One of the strangest finishes to a Monday Night Raw ever, but that set up this match here with the Fiendess Alexa Bliss going one-on-one with Shayna Baszler. What's been your thoughts on this feud and the treatment of Shayna Baszler during this feud? The former two-time NXT Women's Champion, former MMA fighter who is now screaming because she sees a doll in the mirror. And who do you think wins, Alexa versus Shayna? Andrew?
Bro, I just want this thing to be over, please. Like I have like no dog in this fight. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I just don't care. Like this is like why is this happening? You like like seriously, I didn't see that Alexa Shayna segment until today. Like I went back and watched it because when it first came on, I fell asleep. So like I wasn't like I saw people like complaining about it and stuff, but I was just like I was like, there's no way. Even when John and Wade did like a whole like isolated segment on it, I was like, because I didn't want to watch it, so I was just like, if people like literally call it that bad, so I just wasn't even going, I wasn't going to ruin my day. So by watching that, and he's gonna make me mad. So like I was, but now all jokes aside, like I just don't. I'm not invested in this in the slightest. Like it like maybe this is a way. Like I know they did the whole thing with Alexa kind of removing Lily from the situation. So maybe they're trying to get Alexa back to pre-pandemic, what she was doing. Maybe that's what they're trying to get back to, and like slowly push her out of the Fiend Firefly Funhouse thing, so she can be utilized as a regularly featured in-ring talent. You know what I'm saying? How she was prior to, like, of course, the pandemic, but or throughout before the Bray Wyatt storyline, I should say.
Yeah,
like I'm just not into this. Like I just to give you a prediction, I'm gonna say Shayna, because maybe they just want to push Alexa out of this current character she is, and maybe a loss is a way to do that, like take her off TV for a little bit, and then whatever. Like they don't explain stuff half the time, so she just come back normal, and then we just get on with it.
Yeah, they don't have to explain it. Just let her come, normal back in the
like nothing happened.
The Twisted Bliss type of thing, and I think no one would blink an eye. But
I'm about to say SB3, bro. Do you remember when Alexa first came up to SmackDown, bro? How over she was?
Yes,
bro.
Just being like the Harley Quinn get up, and then her feud with Becky Lynch, where it seemed like she was just going to be the first challenger for Becky Lynch, but she got over so huge they put the title on her, and that feels like ages ago. She's been on the main roster for 5 years now, and that just feels like such a long time ago.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm going to disagree with you here. We got a disagreement finally on this on this predictions. I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss to get the victory here. It just seems like they are going to Seth Rollins, Shayna Baszler here. Like, she's screaming. She's totally lost all her credibility, like the Fiend did to Seth Rollins in 2019. I just think that they're doing that to Shayna with Alexa Bliss.
This is what happens when active WWE talents go on Renee's podcast. You see what happened? You see what happened? You see what they do? You see what they doing with Shinsuke? You see what they doing with Shayna? I'm telling y'all, active talents, stop going on Renee's podcast. Stop. Stop appearing on oral sessions. I'm telling y'all, it's not good. It's not good for your career.
And let's go back to one of our old live chat questions. Aleister Black, don't come back because you made your appearance.
You made your appearance on oral sessions. See,
it's all downhill from here. We got John Elite agreeing with me. Alexa 100% wins here. We also got Romeo saying, "Damn, 3 out of 4 matches are women's matches. This is equality." Speaking of on that, Andrew, what was your thoughts of Triple H's comments on the all women's pay-per-view for NWA, and the fact that he tried to basically explain what equality was? And do you agree with him with his comments on the conference call last week?
I have a very old saying, SP3 that I've been keeping with me for, I would say, the past 6 or 7 years. Sometimes it's just better to be quiet. You know, so you don't have to comment on every single thing. You don't have to. Well, let me say, you don't have to elaborate on every single thing. Sometimes a simple "I'm happy for them," that's good, will suffice. Sometimes put your foot in your mouth, you say stuff, and it's like, why would you say that? Like, especially considering WWE is pushing the idea that they formulated this women's evolution, and they did within their company. You know, within their company, I can say that. But sometimes, like, again, sometimes, bro, you just need to just be quiet and don't try to elaborate or explain your point, because Triple H did not come off well in the slightest with that. Like, so, you know, that's really all I got to say about it. Like, sometimes you're just better just to not speak or comment on stuff. Like, and not even referring to Triple H and what I'm about to say, but like, I just like this old saying where people say, like, sometimes it's better to sit back and let people think you a fool than to speak and prove them right. So, like, you know, like, just
I was thinking that exact quote.
You see what I'm saying? Like, just like, you don't have to comment on every single thing. You know, you just don't, like, you know. So yeah, next time when they ask Triple H about the NWA pay-per-view, like, or the all women's pay, just, I'm happy for him. Good job. That's it. Leave it alone.
I'm happy.
But Charlotte backed him though.
Yeah.
In interviews, Charlotte backed him. But Charlotte has been saying that. That's the thing. Charlotte has been saying this for, like, since Evolution happened. Like, she just was like, I didn't think that, you know, that we needed an all women's pay-per-view, because she wants to be presented as the top talent on any card. And from like hearing that from, I don't know why, but like hearing that from a performance perspective, and considering she's a focal point in the women's division, it wasn't like, it's like, you know, I guess like I guess it's weird to hear from her as it was from Triple H. Like, I guess he's an executive, so it's just like, you know, why would you say something? But like to hear Charlotte say it is like, it like, I was just like, oh, you know, that's cool, I guess. Like, I mean, if she feel like that, then, you know, she can feel like that. But yeah, I don't know why that is though. Like, Charlotte's been saying this for like such a long time, and I don't think anybody really batted an eye at it, to be honest with you. Like, of course it draws conversation, but it's like, but when Triple H said it drew like a big reaction. But I think that's just maybe because he's an executive and, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know.
And it's the fact that he was one of the biggest advocates for it happening. Yeah. So I think that was the other thing. And it just really, in my opinion, it's just, I think people forget the reasons why they did it in 2018. It wasn't to have their first ever women's pay-per-view. It was the fact that the women couldn't go to Saudi Arabia, and they had a Saudi Arabia pay-per-view like a days later. That was the main reason. That was the main reason they did it, but you know, people have short-term memory and don't want to remember that. But we are all over an hour into this preview. Thank you so much for everyone watching us. Continue putting your predictions in the live chat. But we got one more match to predict here, Andrew. For the WWE Championship, it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. If Drew McIntyre loses, he will never get another shot at Bobby Lashley as long as he is champion. This one has been going on ever since February, where Bobby Lashley attacked Drew McIntyre after the Elimination Chamber, which helped Miz cash in Money in the Bank. Of course, 2 weeks later, Bobby Lashley defeated Miz to finally realize his destiny and become the WWE champion.
The third black WWE champion in history.
The third in over 50 years of the WWE. Yes. Bobby Lashley, the third WWE champion. I was very happy to see it. I know most of the viewers were as well. And then he defended the title against Drew at WrestleMania 37. A lot of people thought that this would be because, you know, they wanted Drew to have his moment in front of fans. But nope, Bobby Lashley got the victory, retained there. He then retained it against Drew and Braun Strowman at WrestleMania Backlash. And now that brings us to this match here. Drew got the victory over Kofi Kingston to get this opportunity one more time at Bobby Lashley. So who wins inside of the cell? Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. Andrew, who do you got?
This is probably the toughest one out of all the matches on the card to predict, because I can't really call it. Like, me personally, I feel like Lashley is more valuable to WWE right now than Drew McIntyre is. I feel like Drew, and this is no disservice to or no disrespect to the Drew McIntyre character and what he's presenting. I feel like Drew has done a great job throughout the pandemic era of WWE and kind of leading the way as far as like getting them through this period. And he's done a great job, but like he's been in the title picture so much, it gets stale. Like you just can't like it see, this is what we were talking about earlier, like how they presented Roman. Roman has been a champion for almost a year, bro, and it's not dry. It's not dry. You see what I'm saying? You see how they take care of the Roman Reigns character and his stories. It's not dry. With Drew, it got dry. It got dry months ago. It got dry. Like I would say it even got dry when he won it the second time from Randy. And then it kind of picked back up when he had the thing with Goldberg because people were just interested in the thought of Goldberg beating Drew like that. I think that was like something that was like on people's minds. But at the same time, like I just feel like the Drew, like what he has been really good for them to lead the way. But it's just like I feel like Lashley is so much more valuable to them, and he can lead the way. But like at the same time, I can kind of see them wanting Drew to get this, big moment, or not necessarily get the big moment, but walk in front of the crowd as WWE champion, as they planned for him to do last year. I really, and then with the stipulation that he can't challenge Bobby anymore, because I can't see anybody taking the title off Lashley right now on the Raw side. Like I think the only thing that we can even think about is Brock Lesnar, but that I don't think that's anything confirmed. Like I think that's just all speculation of what we think not even that's just what we want to see, because we've been wanting to see Lashley versus Lesnar for some time. So I think that's like an idea that comes up people's heads when you're looking at talent right now in the Raw roster. I don't really see anybody that's taking the title off Lashley. Like Lashley has been the MVP. Let me say this: MVP is the legit MVP, because like I know he had like a bad knee injury, and he could have had surgery, but he opted not to have surgery. And I'm only thinking he did that so he wouldn't have to leave Lashley, because you imagine what Lashley would be doing if MVP was off TV for the last couple months with the surgery.
True.
He probably wouldn't be champion right now to be like keeping it stunning with you. Like he probably wouldn't be like MVP. Like him opting not to have surgery and to just do the rehab stuff and like try to he'll let his knee heal naturally. I feel like that says a lot about him as an individual. Like the fact that he probably knows what would happen if he went away and Lashley had to be by himself. So kudos to MVP for that. But like, yeah, I really can't call this one. Like I think Bobby should win, because I think it's just more left on the table for him to do. But like I can also see them wanting to go with Drew. But I just think that Lashley is the better option. He's more valuable right now, and I feel like there's more on the table left for him to do. I think the Lashley versus Kofi match is something that's on the table for SummerSlam. I'm like, who's on the Raw roster right now that you think is hot enough to be a SummerSlam?
A lot of the people that I would love to see or say that is hot is either in the tag team division or haven't been on TV in a while. Like Riddle would be great against Bobby Lashley, but he's, deal with RK Bro. Randy Orton as a babyface would be interesting against Bobby Lashley.
That match though, that would do.
It's different, but we've never seen it before. That's the thing. That's the thing. And then AJ Styles is another one, but he has the Raw tag team titles. Keith Lee, I would love to see him get more of an opportunity, but he hasn't been on TV in so long. We don't know what's going on with him. So yeah, there's a lot of people on the Raw roster. I think the Raw roster gets, a bad rap because creatively Raw is really bad, but their roster is really stacked when you think about the people that could potentially get into the main event scene. But I feel that Bobby Lashley is going to win here. The only reason I think that is because this feud has kind of been built around Drew McIntyre trying to hit the Claymore on Bobby Lashley, because he says if he hits one Claymore, he can get the victory. And then we had the 6-man tag team matchup this past week where he hits the Claymore on Bobby Lashley and pins him 6 nights before Hell in a Cell. So it just wouldn't make sense for him to hit it again on Sunday after he just hit it on Raw. So that's why I'm going to go with Bobby Lashley to get the victory and retain the WWE Championship. I'm just going to go through a couple of the live chat here before we end things off. Andrew, we got Jason Michael saying Lashley wins. Jinder Mahal return. Keith Lee maybe return.
Don't hinder the gender.
You
Don't
don't
hand.
get into the gender. The modern day Maharaja returns, and he says Keith Lee maybe return, Kofi heel turn, Brock return and kick that door. We got John Elite saying Bobby retained. Sorry, Drew, I just don't want to see you with the with the title again. Yeah, it's kind of like what Andrew was saying. Like it's gotten to the point where we've seen Drew with the title so much, we're kind of over it at this point. Randy Sams and Lashley wins. He also says Keith Lee returned. He's praying for that. Another good option that we didn't mention here, Andrew. Majid is saying Damian Priest, who's another guy that kind of has been not on TV since the whole tragedy of the zombie apocalypse, the zombie lumberjack match. But Damian Priest would be interesting against Bobby Lashley. Would you like to see that?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's not going. I'm not gonna say it's not.
Did we get the? Did we get you freezing?
They got me out of here again.
No. You're good now. You're good now. Oh no, they freezing you up. It's North Korea. North Korea is against us on StreamYard. Or StreamYard is battling us. Majid saying Damian Priest once again. John Elite saying Baylor Lashley for the WWE title sounds nice. I would like that. And, you know, Finn Balor is the last guy who beat Bobby Lashley one-on-one for championship gold in the WWE. So he would be very interesting. We lost Andrew completely. I think he's gonna come back. So I will finish off with you guys in the live chat until he returns to say bye. We got WrestleScopes saying Damian Priest more likely to win Money in the Bank briefcase than challenge Lashley at SummerSlam. Andrew's back, yes.
About stream, I'm telling you, bro. We was good for like the whole first 40 minutes, and then they trying to get me out of here. Now they like, I'm gonna let you have a little fun. Now it's time to get you off. They say they got a vendetta against me. I'm convinced. I'm emailing customer service. I'm about to go straight Karen, and I need to speak to a representative. It's ridiculous, bro.
Before they let us down once again, please, Andrew, let the people know where they can find you. I want to thank you for joining me on the WWE Hell in a Cell preview and predictions, but let them know where they can find you on social media, post wrestling, and everything else you got going on, brother.
Yeah, they can follow me on Twitter at @AD Thompson__. Same thing on Instagram. I just post my interviews and written work and stuff on there. And then you catch my written work over at postwrestling.com. And then you check out my interviews at the Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel.
Awesome. Yes, Andrew was great. No matter what StreamYard did, Andrew did his thing. We answered all of your questions in the live chat. You guys were great during this whole live chat for the WWE Hell in a Cell 2021 previews and predictions. You can find me over on Twitter at TrueHeelSP3. You can find me later on tonight on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel, along with Rick Ucchino and Dutch Mantel on a new edition of Smack Talk as we review SmackDown with the huge Hell in a Cell matchup between Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio for the Universal Championship. And you can go over and pop on over to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel for our live podcast tomorrow, live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. BST for all of the folks in the UK. We're going live with True Heel Heat 130 with a special call-in edition. So not only are we going to read your super chats, your live chats in your comments in the live chat during that broadcast, we're going to welcome a few of you on screen with us for a special call-in edition. So that should be a lot of fun. But of course, subscribe to the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel because there is a bunch of great content right now for you to enjoy. Our good brother Rick Ucchino has an exclusive interview with the aforementioned almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley on the channel that you guys can check out right now. Like this video if you're watching us on YouTube. Share this video on all your favorite social media platforms. Subscribe to the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. And Andrew, any final remarks about Hell in a Cell before we let the people go?
Not about Hell in a Cell, but it's something I did want to say. I'm very happy to see your success and what you're doing. It's always cool to see another Black person in wrestling media doing their thing. Like it's like yourself, Phil, Ridge, and a bunch of other people that I'm forgetting right now. I know those wrestling girls that do their thing, the podcast. Yeah. Like it's like I'm forgetting, but I ain't got time to run down everybody right now. But it's always cool to see another Black person doing their thing, another person of color doing their thing, and making an impact in the media space. So I just want to tell you, I'm proud of you, and I'm happy to see you doing your thing. And much love, and we definitely gonna do this again.
Absolutely. I already told Andrew I'm going to pop him over on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. You're going to see a lot of Andrew and me sharing the screen once again. But thank you all for watching us live for our WWE Hell in a Cell 2021 preview and predictions. Put your comments down below in the comment section if you're watching this on demand. Like, share, subscribe, like it on Facebook and Twitter as well. So for Andrew Thompson, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been the Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE Hell in a Cell preview and predictions. We are signing off until